because whether you've noticed or not, it is our first Sunday morning with our newly installed and much upgraded new amplification. Thank you to our deck coordinator, Mike Halerz, who oversaw the installation. Now, I invite you to turn in your gray hymnal to number 359, but stay seated a moment. This morning's opening hymn, When We Are Gathered, 359, is a beautiful English hymn tune that is relatively new to our community. So instead, to help you learn, I would invite the members of the Y'all Come Singers to rise in body or spirit on their first Sunday, and we'll demonstrate the first verse for you so you can hear it, and then we'll all join together and sing both verses together. So Y'all Come Singers, can we show them how it's done with verse 1 of hymn 359.
Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Ann Arbor, Michigan, a liberal spiritual community grounded in love and deeply committed to a just and peaceful future since 1865. Thank you for the gift of your presence as we gather together on this Bridging Sunday. My name is Stella Anderson, and I proudly serve this congregation as the Director of Spiritual Growth and Development. If you are here for the first time, let me extend you a very warm welcome. And if you have been coming for many Sundays, either in person or remotely, thank you for making this place your spiritual home. After every service, we host a newcomer's welcome in the Redmond Room, which is just out these double doors on the left. If you're new to the UUAA, please stop by to meet some members of our community and learn what we're all about. We also invite you to take the newcomer survey located on our website at uuaa.org/newcomersurvey. We want to make your experience here welcoming and memorable, and these opportunities will help us get to know you and help you make connections. What a year we've had, and now we party. After the service, everyone is invited to our congregation-wide ice cream social. Now, those of you that are parents and have children in the schools, you know that an ice cream social doesn't just mean ice cream. It essentially means a big carnival, right? So this is a celebration of all the ways that people lift up this community, from our music makers to our SGD teachers to our social justice volunteers. Every one of you contributes to the tapestry that is the UUAA. through more than 70 lay member teams. It might take our team of volunteers a few minutes to get situated at their various stations, but the festivities will kick off at 11:40 with some words from Reverend Mandy in the social hall, and will run approximately through 1:30. Please join us for ice cream sundaes, of course, bounce houses, which some of you may have seen on your way in. We have temporary tattoo station, face painting, and more. And now, as we move more deeply into our time of worship and community, I offer a poem that I come back to again and again whenever I find myself on the cusp of a new chapter. Diving Board by Shel Silverstein. You've been up on that diving board, making sure that it's nice and straight. You've made sure it's not too slick. You've made sure it can stand the weight. You've made sure that the spring is tight. You've made sure that the cloth won't slip. You've made sure that it bounces right and that your toes can get a grip. And you've been up there since 5:30, doing everything but dive. We are gathered in community. We are gathered for worship.
I have always found the chalice to be a very welcoming presence in the sanctuary. Aside from it being just beautiful, when it's lit, the flame feels inviting. I hope if you are watching from home now or at a later time, you feel how that welcoming presence from the sanctuary extends into the virtual spaces you are occupying. When you light a chalice or candle at home, we here can feel your presence as well. So when you do, please share in the chat where your chalice is lit. Now, we know the flaming chalice image was created as a logo for the Unitarian Service Committee in World War II, as a way to indicate the organization was official, a logo lends authority, and that the USC was indeed a welcoming entity for those who were being persecuted by the Nazis during the war. The flaming chalice was a way of saying, here's a group of people whose values include accepting those populations who were being marginalized and persecuted, and then taking action to help them escape to safer spaces. Today, 80 years later, the chalice still holds that meaning. We welcome and invite you all into the community, and we welcome all of you, who you are, all of who you are, into the community, especially if you hold an identity that is not fully welcomed in other religious communities. Now, you may be wondering exactly who these folks are gathered in the choir loft, the space usually occupied by the chalice singers. And as Dusty mentioned, they're the Y'all Come Singers in their debut appearance at UUAA. Yeah. I'd like to invite Glenn Keim, one of our Y'all Come Singers, to help us light the chalice today. And as Glenn makes his way over here, let's prepare to say these words, the ones we use each week as we light our symbol of welcome. We light this chalice for the light of truth. We light this chalice for the warmth of love. We light this chalice for the energy of action. We light this chalice for the harmony of peace. Thank you, Glenn. In many religious traditions, the members of the congregation speak words together that are a statement of a single unified belief system. This is often called a creed. The beautiful and welcoming version of this for Unitarian Universalists is represented in the words of our covenant. Words that express how we aspire to be in relationship with each other and how we want to treat each other. It does not require adherence to a single statement of belief. Indeed, one of the things that reinforces the idea of radical welcome in Unitarian Universalism is our covenant. When we say y'all come, we mean y'all. So whether you are brand new or just visiting today, or you remember the first time this congregation used this covenant, I invite you to say with me these words. The spirit of this church is love, and service is its law. This is our covenant with each other, to dwell together in peace, to search for truth in love, and to help one another.
Shel Silverstein's poem reminds me of a scene in one of my all-time favorite movies, What About Bob? In which Dr. Leo Marvin, played by Richard Dreyfuss, is trying to teach his son Ziggy how to dive off the dock at their house on Lake Winnipesaukee. He gives him tips, shows him how to position his body, tries to talk him through it, but Ziggy just can't take that final plunge, much to his dad's disappointment and dismay. That is, until Bob Wiley, played by Bill Murray, the man afraid of everything, decides that maybe he can try diving. Ziggy talks him through it, mimicking his dad's instructions, but Bob very strategically chickens out and asks Ziggy to show him how it's done. Bob doesn't put pressure on Ziggy. He doesn't make him feel like there's anything wrong with being afraid. He just makes space for him to decide for himself when he's ready. And then all of the fear and resistance finally recedes, and Ziggy is able to dive into the lake with confidence and pride. All of us might do well to heed the lesson here, that sometimes the best thing we can do to help someone on the precipice of a big leap is to lovingly step back and let them go when they're ready. Adults in particular, we have all sorts of ideas about how and when our children and youth should meet milestones or take steps forward. But the reality is, it's their journey. Our story for all ages this morning tells the tale of a bird trying to muster the courage to leave the nest and fly. If I Never Forever Endeavor, written and illustrated by Holly Meade. If in all of forever I never endeavor to fly, I won't know if I can. I won't know if I can't. I won't know if or whether a flight I might fly should I choose to not ever give it a try. On the one wing, I could try and find that I flap and I flail, flounder and plummet, look foolish and fail. On the other wing, I could try and take flight, rise high and float free, sail through the trees. If I did endeavor and found my wings clever, I could see the world, or get lost in it. My nest is so nice, the nicest of nests. Who needs to fly, ever? I think I'll forget all about this endeavor. But look there. If I don't fly, I won't know what it is to swoop low or soar high, or what it's like to pluck a sweet bug from the sky. I won't know how it feels to scallop the air with a dip and a glide, or float alongside a friend. Sigh. I suppose I could try a little flap, a flutter, or two. Flutter, thwack, thud, thump, flap, flutter, flap, flap. Fly! Look at me, I'm dipping and gliding and daring and flying. If I hadn't endeavored and found my wings clever, I never a sky would have scaled, never a world would have seen, and never a friend would have found. Friends of a feather, I say, endeavor and fly. The end.
Good morning. Thank you for that, Stella. As all of us human beings seek to fly and stretch into our own being, the fullest extent of who we are and who we can be in the world, every now and again we need a little bit of help. This is why our community partners with local organizations that seek to be of support and service to the wider world. And once a month, we share our financial collection with one such partner organization. It's my pleasure to introduce to you this morning Emily and Michelle, representing Fresh Start Clubhouse, who will share more with us about their organization. Please welcome Emily and Michelle.
Hi, my name's Emily.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and we are here to share about Fresh Start Clubhouse. Fresh Start Clubhouse is the community to inspire and empower people living with mental illness. We believe in the value and potential of every human and the powerful benefits of belonging to a welcoming and exclusive community. Thank you.
In our efforts to support our members here at Fresh Start, we try to provide a diverse and inclusive community for anybody of any background that is struggling with mental illness. Fresh Start is a nonprofit organization that is just fresh off the books. I think we've been our individual standalone clubhouse for a year now, which is huge. We don't have to get funding from other agencies so that we can help the people in our community. But one day we hope to have our own building, such like this one, to have a place for our community to come together and bring their families. We are also recipients of a Michigan Medicine grant that allows us to start taking people that don't have health insurance and giving them opportunities to get jobs and get back into the educational system. And we are excited to share this mission and start our journey here with UUAA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both for the good work that you're doing locally to support those that have mental illness and need support with that. This morning, our collection will be shared with Fresh Start Clubhouse. We invite you to give as generously as you're able to do so. In just a moment, the ushers will come forward in the sanctuary. They'll offer baskets for those who wish to contribute by check or cash. If you contribute by check, please mark Share the Collection in the memo line. That helps us out. If you can choose to give electronically, you can go to uuaa.org/giving. You can also text UUAA to 73256. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you, you all come singers, for your debut performance. We appreciate you. I invite the congregation to rise and body your spirit as the ushers bring forth this morning's offering. Let us join our hearts and our voices in these familiar words of dedication that are up on our screens. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives, and these are offerings. Please be seated.
Hello, good morning, you all. Hi, my name is Henrike Florusbosch, and I proudly serve this congregation as president of the Board of Trustees. This morning, we continue doing the work of building, maintaining, and caring for the bridges that take us together across the river of life. We will begin our journey today by recognizing the high school seniors who have been connected to this congregation. Now, bridging is our name for the ceremony that marks the transition of our high school seniors into the larger world of work and college and more adult responsibilities, the transition from youth to young adulthood. We begin with that essential ministry of bridging. Later in the service, we will extend the story of our bridge a little wider, for we gather in religious community to ensure that none of us make the journey of life alone.
The young people we honor today are embarking on a lifelong journey of self-discovery. It's scary and exhilarating to cross that bridge. Each of them have taken a different path to get here, and today we celebrate another big step. Everyone that is here in person or watching from home, the assembled seniors as well as the wider congregation, has worked to create the programs our youth take part in, and for that, I thank you. I especially want to thank the YRUU advisors who have been in the room helping our youth navigate their individual and collective experiences. Carli Hildebrandt, who served the youth as YRUU coordinator and lead advisor, JJ McKillop, KT Dowd, and Spencer Thomas. Thank you for laying an outstanding foundation for the YRUU community. I invite you to stand here as we bid goodbye to our bridging seniors.
As a gift from our congregation, each young adult will receive a copy of our gray UU hymnal, which has been signed by the ministers and by our spiritual growth and development director. We hope that this hymnal will remind you of your Unitarian Universalist heritage and the wisdom that is contained in it. Each of you are also going to receive a chalice that has been handmade by Ingrid Gunderson, a talented artist and member of our community. We hope that as you travel on life's journey that you'll keep it nearby on a desk or a shelf. Whenever you need us, you'll have the opportunity to light it and recall the hope and love that is embodied in this community. Finally, we're also going to share with you as a gift a copy of a book called Becoming, a spiritual guide for navigating young adulthood. The editor of this book, Caleb Parker, says about it that every word in these pages was written or chosen by people who want you to know that you are not alone, that we are all in the midst of becoming. We wrote, compiled, and edited this book not only to share our own truths, but to be next to you as you discover your own.
Now, YRUU seniors, it is time to make that transition into the next step of your life's journey and into a new relationship with this congregation. What this next stage will look like, that's up to you. Know that all of us are here to catch you if you stumble or fall on your way into the future. Are you ready? Then take a deep breath and dive. As your names are called one by one, I invite you to come forward, greet your YRUU advisors, and then you can make your way across the bridge where you will meet our ministers and board president, who will be waiting to greet you on the other side. You're also going to receive a gift, and I invite all of you to stay standing until everyone has bridged, and then I will offer a blessing. I invite forward the following high school seniors: Rachel Kaufman, Carli Hildebrandt, Bowen Beal, and now a blessing, Go Boldly by Jean Olson. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability. May you speak your deepest truths, knowing that they will change as you do. May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all your heart. May you draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world your vision. May you write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, laying bare your words to love and hate. May you love, even though your heart breaks again and again. And until the end of your days, may your life be filled with possibilities and courage. You may return to your seats.
Crossing a bridge is scary. You can look down over the unfamiliar landscape that's beneath you and worry that it will all come crashing down. You're about to cross bridges that will lead to great adventures, but sometimes in your life, you will make bridges that are unstable. You'll venture to places that end up being a mistake, and that is okay. From here, you get to choose where your bridge goes. You are the designer, the architect, and the engineer of your life. Though you are the decision maker, I will offer some advice. It is essential to ask for help. Through your life, you're going to find people that will help you build your life to what you want it to be. And they will walk with you, sometimes on the way. Treasure these people when you are lucky enough to find them, and don't take them for granted. And please know that you are lucky enough right now to have a whole room of people that are willing to do that with you. If you ask, they'll probably say yes. And if you find yourself far away and alone, find a UU church and check them out, full of people just like us. And there's also online things that you're going to hear about from me later for young people, so I'll plug that now. Just know that we are still your home congregation, even if it's through Zoom for a young adult group. You'll bring part of us with you, wherever you go. And I couldn't be happier to be sending out each of you as an ambassador. Thank you.
Over the course of our lives, there are so many bridges that we wind up crossing. Ones that represent birth or adoptions or deaths, illnesses, recoveries, graduations, partnerships, separations, divorces, weddings, relocations to new cities or towns or jobs, changes in our bodies or our physical abilities, aging, retirement. Through all of these endings and beginnings, all of these changes and transitions, we human beings companion one another, supporting one another in the crossing from what has been toward the threshold of what is becoming, what is emerging. We help each other bridge life's transitions. Change and transition impacts each and every one of us. It touches each and every one of us. And as it does so, we're called to honor whatever feelings may arise, whatever our essential truths are, and when we can, and when we're able, and when we're ready, honor the possibilities that may be evolving and emerging.
We invite you now to mark your own bridgings. Henrike and Stella will stand over here on the Chalice side to greet you, and Reverend Manish and I will be over here on the piano side to anchor each side of our symbolic bridge. So just take a moment and think about an event you want to recognize, big or small, celebratory, sad, or complicated. Like the youth moving into young adulthood, what changes are happening to you, within you, around you, that would call you over this bridge? Now, whether you are here in the sanctuary or on the live stream, take a moment and consider what bridging might mean to you right now in your life. For those on live stream, your presence as part of the UUAA community matters, and we will bear witness to any bridging that is indicated in the chat. As you feel comfortable, you may simply type "witnessing" after any event someone shares. Or you may write "bridging" in the chat and hold the reason why in your hearts. Or you may indicate what your life event is. For example, you could type in the chat, "I am beginning a new job." A Pastoral Care team member is serving as your chat host. He and others viewing the live stream will respond to you. For those here, similarly, you may remain seated to witness and be present for others in the community, or you may come up front and cross the bridge of support. This is the in-person version of typing in the chat. And please know that any children, and there's a lot of children here today, that's beautiful, you are welcome to participate in this bridging as well. Reverend Manish and I will greet you, and if you wish, you may tell one of us what event you are crossing for, or it may remain in your hearts. We might make a quick note so that we can remember what you have told us. There are many, many of you coming past, and so that we can help hold all of these bridgings with you. So, if you wish to participate in the bridging ceremony by coming through the line, you're invited to move at your own pace to the back of the sanctuary and form a line along this wall, okay? And then come up here, and then cross the bridge. And then when you're done greeting Manish or myself, you can go through these center aisles back to your seats, okay? It's kind of a very weird shaped circle, but I know you can do this. And there's no need to rush, okay? Please pause for a moment at the end of the bridge if there's someone ahead of you still greeting the ministers, okay? So I invite you now to start forming a line as we begin this second bridging ceremony. Thank you all. No matter how you participated in the bridging ceremony, remember that you are in the company of those who wish you well. And as a community, we remain together and supportive of each other in these times of change and uncertainty. It matters that you are here.
We want to invite you into a moment of reflection on the ceremony we just participated in. And as we do that, I want to invite you just take a moment and imagine a bridge. You get to choose what kind of bridge. And as you do, one or two folks just shout out, what kind of bridge did you imagine? A covered bridge? What did I hear over here? I didn't hear that. Oh, a gentle. Oh, you already jumped straight to metaphor. Oh, dental bridge. Oh, that's fun. I'm not sure how to work with that metaphor. You've stumped the preacher with that one. Let's stay with the more physical kind, the one that we traverse and travel across. So it's something that leads you from one place to another, at times an unexplored destination or a landscape. And there's a tension with this. There is a leaving of something and an arriving at something else. The leaving can involve feelings of sadness or grief or loss, but not necessarily. It could also be feelings of good riddance. I'm leaving something behind that wasn't working. The arriving at can include excitement, possibility, the possibility of exploring something new, but it can also be disorienting. You don't quite know where you're at, and that disorientation can feel frustrating, or also evoke a sense of grief at having left behind that which was familiar. So another way of thinking about this leaving and arriving, this tension between leaving and arriving, is the tension between change and stability. But here you've got this physical entity itself in between. You've got the bridge. Somebody offered the possibility of a covered bridge lying in between the leaving and the arriving. You aren't yet in either place, not fully left, not fully arrived. You're kind of in between, and that in-betweenness creates anxiousness and uncertainty. Thinking of this as a metaphor, In the midst of that not yet arrived and not yet fully left, the bridge can be something sturdy, solid, and reliable. When we think of the bridge as a place of transition, it could in fact be, somebody in the front row said, a tightrope, a daredevil act. And at times, if the transition is so huge, so scary, it might in fact feel like a tightrope act. But more often, what we hope for are those really solid bridges like the Golden Gate Bridge, those iconic bridges that evoke a sense of beauty, a sense of just gorgeous passage from one shore to another. In that metaphoric sense, that leaving and arriving does not have to be on our own, and that was one of the recurring themes as the other clergy and Lee Robertson and I greeted you here on the other side of this transition, this metaphoric bridge here, was the reminder that you're not alone as you navigate whatever transition it is that you may be navigating in your life. You don't have to do it alone, and here you don't. And yet, as we know that we have each other, and that takes a certain amount of courage. I don't want to ignore that. Even just simply telling three human beings what your change or transition or uncertainty or anxiousness is takes a great deal of courage. It takes even more courage to say, I need help. I'm in this place of uncertainty and I need help. So, when we can make those courageous moves of going through changes that we need to go through in our lives, relying on the support that can be there for us if we look and notice it, if we ask for it when we need to ask for it, the next challenge that comes up is how do we keep love and possibility alive in our hearts when the universe and the course of our lives asks us to go through so many leavings, so many transitions. It can at times feel like it's never ending, and certainly as decades pile on in one's life, as they have in mine, once you reach a certain age, you have been through so many changes, so many leavings, so many transitions, your heart kind of yearns for less of them. The transitions can feel hard, they can feel discouraging. At worst, we can start to expect that pain or loss will be at the end of these transitions, no matter what we do. Now, that possibility that change and transition can bring loss is not without wisdom. There is often in that change something that we may need to let go of that can involve pain, can involve heartache, can involve some sense of grief. Everything changes and nothing stays static, even as our hearts yearn for that stability. And I find as I get older, I want more and more of the stability and less of the change. How do we continue to have an open heart? How do we continue to love and fully invest ourselves, even as we know with the passing of time, we go through so much repeated letting go, and the inevitable pain and heartache that some of that letting go can involve. It involves choice. This is something I've spoken of in earlier times as well. We're often confronted with the choice of becoming hardened or cynical or shutting down in the face of loss after loss or change after change after change, or choosing, despite that, despite feeling heartache, periodically, at times often, we keep choosing courageously to invest our love over and over again in the people that we meet, in the new circumstances that emerge, in the new places that we find ourselves. It's always a choice. It's not a guarantee that we're going to wind up in that place of open-heartedness. It involves our choosing it. And so I wanted to share with you, since coming back from sabbatical, I've been having a little bit of fun in my free time. I've been going to concerts. I went to a concert last weekend. I saw one of my current favorite bands, Hozier. They're an Irish blues rock band. There's a song of theirs that's on their current album called All Things End. I want to share with you a couple of lyrics from this song, All Things End. Hozier writes in their lyrics, If there was anyone to ever get through this life with their heart still intact, they didn't do it right. All things end. All that we intend is scrawled in sand or slips right through our hands, and just knowing that everything will end should not change our plans when we begin again. We should not stop finding ways to keep living out our love, our possibility, our sense of open-heartedness, no matter how many bridges we have to cross, no matter what we know that bridge crossing might involve and take from us. Keep choosing to be courageous. Keep choosing courageously to love.
I invite you to turn in our teal hymnal to hymn number 1020 as you rise in body or in spirit to join in singing Woyaya, hymn number 1020.
Beloveds, remain standing for our closing prayer, our benediction. Go forth into this new week, going forth into this Sunday of celebrating some of the joy of intergenerational community, this Sunday celebration that lies ahead of you still. Go forth in that spirit of community and joy, knowing that you are held and encouraged and supported in whatever transition, whatever bridge you may be crossing in your life, today at this very moment or in the days to come. None of us need cross those bridges alone. We are here for one another. Go in love, go in peace until we are together again.